It's all out for a practice exercise at the Red Cross camp at Paikokariki near Wellington. These chaps do this sort of thing in their spare time so that they'll be useful members of the community in an emergency. They carry patients through a smoke screen while most of us are lying in bed on a Sunday morning. It's good training in case they ever get tangled up in a major fire. But they're ready for any emergency. Some of these men stood by in the recent air disaster on Mount Ruapehu, and they're quite capable of handling a stretcher over the roughest country. An army instructor directs operations. They're like a pack of old women, he says, but they look pretty good from where we're sitting. Floods are a major hazard in New Zealand, and the men's division of the Red Cross spends a lot of its time preparing for flood work. It's a technique of its own and requires special training. How to make this raft, for instance, out of 7 stretchers lashed together and a tarpaulin. It does the job surprisingly well, and about 7 people can be carried with safety. These Red Cross volunteers are an official reserve for the Army Medical Corps, but in peace as well as war, they're doing a grand job in spite of their small numbers. They don't get paid either, but they've solved the problem of what to do during the long weekend. A rope is secured to the stretcher when a patient is to be taken up a steep face. It helps take the weight and stops the stretcher from slipping back. You've got to be fit for ambulance work, for the stretcher has to be manhandled all the time. But sandhills are nothing. To lower a patient over a cliff like this one demands nerve and a high degree of skill. The weight is taken from the top, and 2 ropes from the foot of the stretcher are held at the bottom of the cliff to prevent patient and stretcher rotating. Great care is needed, for falling rock could cause grave injury. This exercise is nearly over, and it ends a highly successful series of maneuvers. The members of the Red Cross are thoroughly trained, and they're ready to give aid, backed by knowledge and skill, where and when it's most needed.